It's time. I'm so excited, you guys. I know you already saw the title of the video, but I think I'm finally ready to start book 2 today. Tonight is writing group. Incredible, iconic, love that. I know I talk about this all the time, but I love how much having a writing group pushes me to at least show up once a week to write. And I feel like having my writing group is adding consistency throughout the rest of my week as well. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I officially finished reading, or I guess rereading, my 122-page note document that I had when I was either working on draft 1 or draft 2 of book 1 of Project DE. This is gonna get confusing without titles, but it's time to start on book 2. I went through that document. I made myself read through all of it, even though at like around page 60, I was just like rearing to go. I was so ready to start writing book 2, but I made myself wait. I made myself finish reading through it. I'm glad I did. There were some good ideas and stuff that I wanted to copy and paste over into my book 2 ideas document. But tonight, I'm actually going to start writing, which is crazy. I have yet to outline. I did find an old outline, again, probably from like around the draft 2 era of book 1 that I have not reread, but I have that. I will reread it at some point in time, probably. And I would like to form some kind of outline, but I know where each of my characters start book 2 and I want to start writing book 2. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. And I get to start a new document for book 2 of Project DE. Draft 2 has officially been started. If I'm gonna be completely honest, it doesn't feel very real yet, but I did really well at writing group tonight. So well that I came home and I did a little bit more. And I talked to some of the girls in my writing group about the fact that I was starting book 2 and they were much more excited than I was. I don't know if I'm just kind of out of it today or if I've been editing book 1 for like years and years and years, so it doesn't feel real that I'm getting to start book 2, or if I'm just tired, or if I spent so long rereading my notes document, or what it is, but I kind of feel like in a couple days, hopefully it will hit more and I'll get really excited. But I am excited, and I know that. It's just like, it doesn't feel like I'm as excited as I should be. But in total today, including writing group, I was able to work on writing for 2 hours and 10 minutes, which is the first 2 hours and 10 minutes of book 2. And I wrote the first 1,500 words exactly. So the first like 1%, 1.5% of the book is done. Obviously the rough draft, but 1% or 1.5% of the rough draft is written. And saying that out loud sounds really cool. I have recently gotten back on the kick of like, writing is what I want to do with my life. I should be writing way more than I actually am. And I just saw my plant's dead leaf. That's so sad. It's struggling right now. It missed me while I was gone for Christmas, but I'm doing what I can to get it healthy again. But as I was saying, I'm very excited about writing again, very optimistic about writing again. I know that I am excited about getting to start book 2. I just might need to be a little bit further in to like really start to feel it. I also told myself I was going to make an outline. Still have not made an outline. I'm sure I will at some point in time, but today was not that day. I am excited, but it's like 1 in the morning now, so I should go to bed. Same spot, same sweatshirt, different day. So the last time I talked to you guys was yesterday when I officially started writing book 2. That has started to feel a little bit more real today, but still pretty weird. I did find myself starting to write in black font and in Times New Roman or Arial or whatever the automatic setting is on Microsoft Word yesterday. And I just wanted to mention that I very quickly shifted away from writing in that black font to writing in colored Comic Sans. When I was at writing group yesterday, I wrote in a blue color, and when I got home, I was writing in green, and for tonight's writing session, I'm writing in purple. I've talked about this in several videos before, but I just like the visual difference that you can see, or the visual progress that I can see on the page when writing in different colors. It just like helps me feel like I'm writing well. I also was having a lot of ideas when I was getting ready for bed last night, and that's kind of when it started clicking to starting to feel better and that this is happening and that book 2 has been started. My goal for tonight was 500 words, but I'm already 1 30-minute writing sprint in for the evening. I don't think I'm going to be able to do more than 2 tonight because it's already 12:06 in the morning. I've already written 679 words for the day so far though, and like I said, my goal is 500 words. As I was writing earlier, I like didn't really have a goal, but but then I had the thought that it would be really cool to try and write 7,000 words in the first week. I don't really want to put that on myself. If I choose not to do that, that's totally okay. If I'm not able to do that, that's totally okay. I need to get up, walk around a little bit, probably do a productive break, and then come back and sit down for 20 or 30 more minutes, see if I can get a few more words in. Now that I'm at 2,179 words total, I kind of want to see if I can get to 2,500 words tonight, just to give myself a little bit more buffer if I choose to go for writing 7,000 words this week, which again, may or may not be my goal. Might be less than that, might be more than that. Currently just an idea, but I think that I will be able to write 1,000 words tonight. Like I said, I sat down earlier hoping to write 500 words today. It is now 12:59. We'll call it 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to call my writing here, but the rough draft now stands at just over 3,000 words. 3,021 words to be exact, meaning that my goal for this evening was to write 500 words and I ended up writing 1,521 words, which means that theoretically the book is now 3-ish% done. That's crazy. I shouldn't be kidding myself. I'm sure this book is going to be longer than 100K, at least the rough draft. But I like the concept of trying to view this in percentages, at least for like the first 10,000 words. We shall see. I do want to say that I haven't like drafted something in a while, and it's kind of funny how I'm noticing I keep misspelling things. Every time I went to type an O, I would type at least 2 of them. And then I went to write the word blue, and instead of B-L-U-E, I wrote B-L-O-O. So that's where my mental state is at. I could probably keep writing, but because that's where I'm at, I should go to bed. All right, you guys, happy Thursday. Did not talk to you guys or write yesterday. I really wanted to, but I went for a run outside, and my body does not regulate well to temperature. So after I got back, I was exhausted, like could barely think straight. I did a task that should have taken me 5 minutes, and it took me an hour and a half. So was just like not in the writing headspace yesterday. Even though I wanted to write, that was just not a possibility. So it's currently 7 p.m. on Thursday. It's dark out, but I'm making dinner and I'm telling myself that I should write until my dinner's ready, which is a great idea. But for some reason I'm feeling resistance to it. So I know I just need to like sit down and start, and hopefully the words start flowing. Okay, I did 45 minutes instead of an hour because there's another component to dinner that I forgot I needed to start making. But in those 45 minutes, I ended up raising my word count from 3,021 words to 3,960 words, which is a 939 word increase. Honestly, really, really surprised with that outcome. Not mad by any means, but surprised for sure. We are now back to it being Monday again, meaning that I did not end up writing like the 7,000 words that I kind of had a pipe dream of writing in my first week working on book 2 of Project DE, but I think that's totally okay. I just want to have fun writing this story. I had a lot of other stuff going on this weekend that I just didn't get around to writing with. And even though I have writing group tonight, I'm not 100% sure I'm going yet because it's now 2:30. I'm going to write with a friend of mine. And if I'm feeling really fired up after that, then I will go to writing group and just continue writing. But considering that my creative capacity kind of feels like it only goes up to about 2 hours right now because I haven't really been working on strengthening that beyond the 2-hour point recently, I kind of feel like I'm gonna probably tap out and not be able to go to writing group tonight. But at least I'm writing, and at least there's a little bit of that positive peer pressure of writing with someone else, and I'm excited to continue book 2 today. Same day, back to the same sweatshirt. So I did not end up going to writing group because I spent roughly 2 hours writing earlier at the library, and I could feel after I left the library that I probably only had like 20 to 30 more minutes of creativity in me before I was like completely zapped for the day, and I would have done more driving getting to and from writing group than that. So I decided not to go, and I told myself that I was going to finish what I had started working on earlier, which I have not yet done, and it's now 11:21 p.m., which means that I should start, but I also wanted to tell you guys what I was working on, because I decided to rescue a deleted scene from book 1 that I really, really loved. I reread it. I was so obsessed with how I wrote it. Like, some of the lines I thought were really, really good. And now I can include it as like a sort of like a flashback for one of the characters to a week prior. This is not like a serious flashback, but sort of like something triggers a thought and then she flashes back to this moment so that the readers still get to see the scene that I was really sad about cutting out in book 1. So basically, I reread that scene. It is told from somebody else's POV. So I reread it and I was copy and pasting over only the details that would make sense for the new POV, because again, different characters telling this. And then I started going through and weaving together those pieces into a new scene. And then I left the library. And so I have not yet done a word count or anything, just because I copy and pasted a bunch of stuff over. And I'm working on this scene and probably should not check my word count until after I'm finished reworking this scene, because it is going to require a lot of rewriting, and not a lot of rewriting. I think it's like 2,000 words. But that is what I told myself I would do my 20 to 30 more minutes working on tonight, instead of going to writing group. And guess who hasn't done that yet? So what that means is I should stop yapping and get to work on this. That's the wind. And now it died down. It'll be back. Jeez. It's now 11:56, meaning that I was right on the money with my 30 minutes before I was zapped for the night, because I am now very done. Not with the chapter, just with my focus, or the amount of focus that I can spend on this tonight. Or today. Which, we can kind of tell with how I'm talking right now. Anyways, I just added up the number of redone words so far for this chapter, and I'm at 982 words, which is where I'm going to stop for the day. I'm working on this scene in a different document than my DE Book 2 Draft 1 document, which is very confusing, and I'm giving myself a headache with it. But I'm working on this one chapter in a separate document just because I'm doing a lot of rewriting and stuff, and that just somehow seemed easier. And then when I'm done, I'm going to copy and paste it over into my Book 2 Draft 1 document. But as for right now, that's where I'm gonna stop for the evening. I hope to finish this chapter in the next couple of days, but I'm sure I'll talk to you guys then. I almost said good morning, but good afternoon. I'm about to head to a coffee shop with some friends to finish up working on that chapter and hopefully cross 5,000 words in Book 2 of Project DE today. Just got back from the coffee shop. It's now 5:10 p.m. We were there for probably about 3 hours, but I decided to spend the first hour of that responding to emails and being a responsible adult. But then for the next 2 hours, I spent writing, and I was able to finish that chapter that I started reworking the other day. That was a saved, deleted scene from book 1. I'm really happy with that chapter. I'm really glad I decided to save it. I think it starts out the POV for that character really strong. It helps really set up her trajectory for the rest of the story. And I'm very, very excited. I also kind of had it as a stretch goal to reach 5,000 words, but I didn't realize that when I started reworking that scene that I had probably passed 5,000 words. I might have actually said that in this video, but even if I did, I totally forgot that. And I was working on that scene in a different document just so that I could make as many changes as I wanted to, and then copy and paste it over when I was done. And then when I copy and pasted it over, my total document word count was at 6,500. And I was like, oh, that's more than I thought I was writing. So not only did I pass 5,000 words, I passed 6,000 words total in the story so far. And then because I was at 6,500 words, I had just gotten my avocado toast. I was still feeling creative and ready to go. I started working on another chapter and I passed 7,000 words, which is crazy. Now it's starting to really feel real, because I know that at the beginning of this video when I started working on book 2, I didn't mentally feel like I had started book 2. It just didn't feel real. And now that I'm like 7,000 words in, I've written like the introductory chapter basically for each of my characters. And now I'm like, okay, the foundations are there. And now I just get to keep writing and keep opening up this book. And I am so much more excited now than I was. I can't believe I'm already at 7,000 words. It didn't happen in the first week, but that's totally fine. That was like a very far-fetched goal and not even really a goal. It just sounded good and didn't actually line up with what I was trying to do, because I'm just trying to have fun writing this. And I would say that I definitely am having fun writing it. It's crazy to think that there's already 7,000 words on paper. It makes me think that this book is probably going to be longer than 100,000 words, but I also don't want to stress myself out by thinking that. But whatever. 7,000 words are now on the page. I've officially started book 2. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!